Hey everybody, welcome to the very long delayed return of Horror Quickies. I am your host, JW, and it's been a rocky road, as a lot of you know, but I'm back and let's review some independent horror films. Today, for my first episode back, Los Bastardz presents sequel. Cruel Summer Part 2. As most of you know, I reviewed Cruel Summer Part 1 very shortly after I lost my mom. And watching Part 2, it's reinvigorated my desire to review more movies and to finally make an independent horror film myself. But let's get to the review, okay? Heeding the advice of medical professionals, the traumatized survivors of the deadly vacation house massacre try and confront their own personal demons by organizing a stage production of their harrowing experience 2 years earlier. But a familiar face is also back for revenge and determined to make sure the unsuspecting actors fade to black before their time. Okay, you guys know how I am. I'm gonna break down what I liked, what I didn't like. Let's start with the beginning of the film. This, by the way, for you guys who don't know, Los Bastardz Productions is Scott Tepperman and Jim O'Rear. They're literally the only fundraising. When they fundraise, I donate. I don't have a lot, especially with all the stuff that's been going on, but I do, because they do it right. And as you guys can see, this is the Indiegogo exclusive version. I actually got this a few days ago, but been really busy. Got to get back on the ball though. Anyways, this is the proper way. The way that Scott Tepperman, the director, the way he opens his film is the proper way to open a sequel. Literally opens it up. It's like literally opens up after the end of the first one, and I like that. I like when they do that. Now I will tell you guys, as you guys know, I don't do spoilers, but there's gonna try to, because I'll be honest with you straight up, this is basically one of the first times in a while that I thought the sequel was superior. The first one has a special place in my heart, but I gotta admit, they really ramped it up for the sweet sequel. I do like this better than the first one. Not that I disliked the first one, I loved it, but this is how you do a sequel. For those of you who like bloody kills, there's plenty. There is plenty. Gunner, played by Scott Tepperman, once again proves why when you see him, especially wearing that very cool mask, you should get the hell out of Dodge. Okay, so basically of the survivors, I will tell you this: there are, as you guys who, like I said, if you've seen the first movie, I'm not spoiling it. It's been out, so I'm assuming you guys watched it. It's a great film. If you haven't, why not? Watch Cruel Summer 1 if you haven't. Okay, after the lead-in, which follows from the end of the first film, and how they eventually got away, they believe the killers are dead. They believe that things are back to normal, but they aren't, because they're all dealing with it in certain ways. One of the survivors, Barbara, who originally believed to be dead. There's actually a couple of characters that I'm not gonna, let's just say, watch the film and you'll understand what I'm saying. It's a great sequel. Probably, like I said, not to toot my own horn or to blow smoke, but I really this is the proper way to do a sequel. Anyways, Barbara, the character Barbara, she decided to write a play under the advice of her psychiatrist or doctor. And basically, some of the other survivors, some of them who you may have thought died but didn't, basically some of them think it's a really bad idea, some are reluctant, but eventually that is the plan. Meanwhile, it's pretty clear who's doing the killing, but let's just say the kills are are just really well done, vicious. The camera works very nice. I like the pacing. I love the first movie, but I felt like sequel, Cruel Summer Part 2, I felt like the pacing is really dead on. The few little pacing issues I had with the first one, which really not really worth mentioning, but they're definitely not here. There's definitely such a direct. It's obvious Scott Tepperman had a direct vision of how he wanted to do the sequel. I mean, anybody who knows him knows that the man likes slasher films. I do too. I love them. But basically, this is a very good film. There are twists and turns. I mean, it's pretty obvious right off the bat who the killer is because they show them, but there's twists and turns. I give this movie my highest recommendation. Now, remember, when I judge a film and I'm telling you how I feel about it, remember, it's just my opinion. This is a fun throwback slasher sequel, okay? There's nods to other horror films with the character names and stuff, just like the first one. If you see, my biggest problem is a lot of people want to, and I fall into this habit and I try not to do it, but a lot of people want to dissect the film. For me, it's story first, and then I try to enjoy the film. This is a fun film. Pop the popcorn, make some nachos, and I will see you on the next Horror Quickies.